Michael Axworthy, Revolutionary Iran, A History of the Islamic Republic. Dive into the turbulent history of the Islamic Republic of Iran in the gripping book, Revolutionary Iran, A History of the Islamic Republic by Michael Axworthy. In this summary, you'll explore Iran's journey through political transformations, social struggles, and dynamic international relations, from the early 20th century to the eve of the 2009 presidential elections. Witness the power shifts between absolute monarchy, constitutionalism, and the Islamic Republic while discovering the role of key figures such as Mozaffar Din Shah, Reza Khan, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Through Axworthy's detailed chronicle, understand the ongoing struggle between theocratic and democratic principles that shaped Iran, with potentially far-reaching implications for the region and the world.
The Iranian Revolution, a historic uprising. Iran faced a civil unrest in 1905 due to economic instability, which developed into mass strikes and vocal denunciation of the country's monarch. The Shah agreed to establish an Iranian National Assembly to soothe the anger of protesters, leading to the formation of the Majlis in October 1906, the very first parliament of Iran. The Majlis drafted and ratified a constitution in December 1906 that established Sharia-Islam as the state religion, confirmed that the Shah's sovereignty was given by the people, and declared the formation of a committee of Iranian clergy. In 1908, the ulama, conservative factions of the clergy, turned against the constitutionalism, resulting in Muhammad Ali Shah staging a military coup in 1908 with the support of the ulama. The revolutionaries counterattacked and Abdul Hamid was forced into exile. His young son, Ahmad Shah Qajar, succeeded the throne. However, the country was descending into complete disorder with political polarization and assassinations being common. Later, in December 1911, conservative factions in the cabinet staged a successful coup and disbanded the Majlis, effectively halting the revolution. Although this coup stopped the uprising in its tracks, it was the catalyst for later revolutionary changes. Iran's dramatic transformation. In 1921, a military coup in Tehran led by Iranian soldier Reza Khan propelled him to power, and he established a new regime in Iran. He bridged the gap between two groups by implementing nationalist and secularizing reforms that reorganized the legal system and established Iran's first university. The Pahlavi dynasty was founded, and Khan crowned himself as Shah. His significant reforms also included an education drive, which saw school attendance rise from 55,000 to 450,000 by 1938. However, the Shah's ban on traditional dress and headwear proved controversial. Nevertheless, the Pahlavi dynasty marked a dramatic transformation for Iran, albeit relatively short-lived. Iran's rise and fall. In the 1970s, Iran's increasing wealth from oil production couldn't mask the inequality and corruption plaguing the nation under the rule of Reza Shah's son, Mohammad Reza Shah. International pressure due to his regime's human rights abuse forced the Shah to loosen his control, which emboldened political opposition groups. Small changes, like the release of political prisoners and the improvement of prison conditions, were made. Activist groups emerged, calling for a constitutional monarchy. The mood shift was evident in the Goethe Institute's hosting of poetry readings in Tehran, criticizing the Shah's regime to growing crowds. A popular movement led by religious leader Ayatollah Khomeini gathered enormous crowds, demanding societal change. When soldiers fired into the crowds at a follow-up demonstration, around 80 people lost their lives, which only fueled the fall of the Shah's regime and the eventual reshaping of Iranian society. The Islamic Revolution. In 1979, Iran underwent a revolution that overthrew the monarchy and established the Islamic Republic. Ruhollah Khomeini, a popular Ayatollah who had been exiled for repeatedly criticizing the government and the Shah, advocated for the foundation of an Islamic government based on the principle of Vilayat-e-Faqih. His book, Islamic Government, argued that the only legitimate law was Islamic law as interpreted by imams. Khomeini declared the Iranian constitution illegitimate and planned for a referendum, a constituent assembly, and elections to create a new government. The Shah fled the country before Khomeini's return, and fighting broke out between the old government and anti-government factions. The army declared itself neutral, and the old government fell. Iran celebrated the victory of the Islamic Revolution, but stability had not yet returned. The chaos and consolidation of the new Islamic Republic. After the fall of the Shah, Iran plunged into chaos as staple goods were in short supply, violence was rampant, and power had scattered among various newly formed committees. Despite the uncertainty and violence, Khomeini and his allies carefully managed their ambitions and collaborated with a diverse range of groups, including secular politicians, resulting in a stable religious, cultural, and social power until Khomeini's death in 1989. The initial caution prevented the situation from deteriorating into a second revolution, as seen in previous historical events. However, the three defining features of the Islamic Republic's early days, uncertainty, multipolar political system, and extrajudicial violence, still exist today. Iran's struggles post-revolution. Iran was plagued with internal and external struggles after the revolution. The neighboring country of Iraq took advantage of their weakness and invaded in 1980, which led to an 8-year war. In addition, factional struggles increased, resulting in violence becoming commonplace. Furthermore, the bomb explosion at the Islamic Republican Party's headquarters added fuel to the already blazing fire. The IRP retaliated with arrests, executions and armed street confrontations. Amnesty International reported 2,946 deaths from executions, torture in prison and street clashes in the year after Iran's first president, Abolhassan Banisadr, was removed from office. Contradictions in the founding ideology of the revolution also became apparent, both within the IRP and between left and right more generally. A strong conservative strain of thought led to restrictive rulings, such as limiting the status of women in society. These conflicts arose from debates over economics as factions on the left supported the greater control the state exerted over various economic sections, while the merchant bazaari class was skeptical. Iranian politics and society were under immense strain and about to face more tumultuous times. A new era in Iran. In February 1989, Iran's leader Khomeini was suffering from cancer and heart disease. As his health worsened, it was vital to find a successor. There were 3 leaders in positions of authority, which caused political gridlock. Before he died, Khomeini convened an assembly for a revision of the constitution. This revision abolished the office of prime minister, gave some of the president's powers to the supreme leader, and reduced the power of the Majlis. These amendments were advocated for in July 1989, and on July 28, the ratification was put to the people in a referendum. The point of the reforms was to give Khomeini's choices for leader and president strong legal authority to ensure the country's stability. However, among the ordinary Iranians, there was a ferment of discontent as they were unsure if the republic was really working for them. The rise and fall of Iran's reformist movement. Iran's reformist movement emerged in the late 1990s, driven by a new religious movement that argued for the complementary relationship between religion and politics. Proponents of this movement, including Abdolkarim Soresh, advocated for a separation of religion and politics while highlighting the corrupting influence of politics on religion. The movement also focused on the issue of human rights, especially the subjugation of women. Despite facing persecution from the government, reformist ideas gained mainstream political support by 2003. However, extreme government corruption and disillusioned citizens led to low voter turnout and the subsequent rise of a hardline nationalist in the form of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. The reformist movement's failure was a significant blow to those dreaming of a progressive Iran. Iran's Green Movement. In 2009, Ahmadinejad's re-election triggered protests and the rise of the Green Movement, named after opposition candidate Mir Hossein Mousavi's campaign color. The regime responded to demonstrations with crackdowns, and reports of violence against protesters emerged. The government sealed off areas to prevent protests, and opposition candidates were put under house arrest. The aftermath of 2009 left deep cracks in the regime's legitimacy, causing reformists to leave the country. Despite the ongoing conflicts, Iran seeks to find a middle way between Islamic principles and democratic republican ideals.
Having journeyed through Iran's vivid and tumultuous history in Revolutionary Iran, A History of the Islamic Republic, the reader gains a deeper understanding of the complexities of the Iranian political landscape. As you have seen, Iran has navigated the challenges of transitioning from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional system, and ultimately to an Islamic Republic, grappling with the delicate balance between religious and democratic values. Despite the enduring internal conflicts between various political factions, reformist movements, and the influence of foreign powers, the resilient Iranian people continue to strive for a better future. As the effects of these historical milestones continue to reverberate, the rich tapestry of Iran's past provides valuable insights into its present and future trajectory in the rapidly changing world.